live, and it is Kent Beck Scrum, and it is Sam and Thomas and Michael, and yeah, the other Hangout is finished. So I could have done it on that computer. Anyway, I'm on different computers. I have new windows in my office. There's a new window.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, so it's now slightly warmer inside because of the temperatures plummeted here in the UK. And my office is slightly tidier as a result of other stuff having been moved into another room. But anyway, what's going on?
All of that you forgot to shave this morning.
Well, no, my sensitive skin has been overacting, and I just this is a I shaved this morning, but I'm just so virile. No,
oh yes, you should.
But yeah, my wife's saying this is obviously a certain thing. Anyway, brain on. Yes. So what has been happening? What has immediately been happening is I was actually scaffolding a paid session there for someone, which is there's some new paid project developments going on, which is nice. That seems to be working well. In the background, I was managed to pay get the number that I need to pay my corporation tax, which has taken up most of the day, as well as being in the office and dealing with this window thing. Gosh, no, what I did do is I had an hour pairing with Matt Lindsay on website 1 and unblocking him on 2 tickets there, and also on 1 issue on Redeemify. So that was the main thing that happened for me. I guess the main blocker is not having enough time. I think I'm torn between trying to make progress on website 1 so that it's clear about how people can upgrade to different levels of premium service, and trying to make progress on the async bot, so that which is now hosted on Amazon Web Services, and it's now kind of working and seems stable. But I can only run 1 vote per channel at the moment, and or one vote for all the channels. So if I could just get it so that we could support multiple votes in parallel, then that might also free up some time. So that's my report. Michael, how are things going with you?
Good.
Yeah?
Nothing to report.
All right. Short and sweet. Thomas, how are things going with you?
Well, I'm leaning toward mimicking Michael's report.
Yeah. Don't waste our time, man. Come on.
Yeah.
If nothing happens.
Yeah. No, I don't have much to report. I got my new Craft Academy T-shirts today.
Wow. Fantastic.
There you go. Straight out of boot camp.
All right.
Yes, I'm very happy about them.
Yes,
but so what else? I'm working on my side project. And
do you owe any royalties on that? Wasn't there an album called Straight Outta Compton or something with that?
Yeah. So this is, instead of Straight Outta Compton, we're saying Straight Outta Boot Camp. Develop us with attitudes, and then you have the Craft Academy thing here. So yeah, that was the general idea. I saw the movie the other weekend. I was inspired, and I just designed this T-shirt, and we got them delivered today. Yeah. Anyways, so I'm working with Slack notifications, actually implementing Slack notifications into an application, and I'm kind of, so I was exploring some stuff, so I don't know whether I should choose to like use a webhook or API key and stuff. So I'm experimenting with that in a Rails application, which is pretty interesting. But that's so that's basically about it. We decided that we will use this little project about the generating the Google Analytics data as a learning project inside of Craft Academy. We will keep it open sourced, and we will document our findings, because like I wrote a blog post about this. Like the idea is very simple and then doable, but there's like shitloads of questions that needs to be answered. Can we scale this? How can we make this work? Can we make a product or service out of this? Mm-hmm. And since we work in education, we don't develop products or services, but what the idea is that if we do this in the network of our our employees, our organization, but also some people that we know, and document this, we can learn a lot that we can later convey to our students, like about how it is to build stuff, actually. Because I've been talking to some other the people I know that work in boot camps, both in Britain, but I've been talking to some people in the United States. They are usually, they are, in theory, they know about Agile and Lean and shit like that, but they haven't actually built stuff, and deployed. They started as a startup. And there's a lot of things that I think it could be very interesting for bootcamp students to know about how to connect what they do in like developing small features into the business perspective of the entire. And I think that if we can get that into our curriculum somehow, that would be beneficial both for Craft Academy as an organization, but also for our students. And after that, since they are all moving on to Agile Ventures later, I think that could be a good thing, basically. So we're gonna. I'm gonna adopt the open process of Agile Ventures into this project and run it, internally for Craft Academy Labs and the Craft Academy, and basically publish all our findings as blog posts, and of course the source code will be open, etc. So
great.
That's I think it's an interesting thing, basically.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Thomas. A great update. Okay, well that's us, I guess. So that's the Scrum. I guess there's one thing I might talk about with Thomas. I guess the other thing is pairing. I guess after the Scrum, I got to go do this Pace Corporation Act, make a cup of tea. But Michael, I should have. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Well, they should have 45 minutes to have a look at something if you're free to hang around and look at things.
Sure.
I guess the only thing I just mentioned the Craft Academy Adventures. One thing I've noticed too. One thing is that Lara is kind of working on a lot of different projects.
I know.
I mentioned this to her. You spoke to her about that. I spoke that to her. I guess I'm worrying that she is spreading herself too thin, and she's. I kind of almost like it would be good for her to focus on one project a week or something.
So we spoke. I know. So I know you and her spoke about this, and I had a word with her about that as well. And so she's narrowing that down a little bit. So she left a few projects, and she will focus. I think she has some stuff to finish up on the local support project, and she will probably focus on the Met Plus for the time being. I think it's very good for her to.
Yeah, I don't think it particularly matters which one. I think that I think the
from what I understand, it's Met Plus that was her choice. Yeah.
Sure. Well, and I think it's my concern was the task switching that she was doing between the different projects was. I mean, she was getting great flavor of lots of things, but I think the task switching between the different projects was potentially preventing her from getting in the way of her own learning. If you know what,
well, we task switch twice a day anyway.
We do, but I think that there's which maybe you could argue is not so good for us. But I think
not senior enough for that. I would say that she's in at the beginning of her journey. Yeah. I think that focusing is good for her.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, there's. I mean, I sometimes wonder if I've blogged about this, that maybe if I just I said, right, I am not going to work on any other projects for the next 3 weeks other than, let's say, Async Voter or Website One or what have you, that would be a better approach. I mean, I guess the way I've set up with Agile Ventures Premium is as a mentor supporting people on lots of different projects. I'm task switching between those projects. But the other thing, I guess, then is the SHF project where there's a sort of weird setup there where Susanna is being the most probably of the people who've come in from Craft Academy, the most forthcoming in saying, right, yes, I want PR review and code review and so on. It's kind of a funny setup in as much as the project sort of started up and there was kind of this question mark about how do we start up a project? What's the way to do it and so on. But then I guess, I mean, this is the more general problem we have. I mean, the bottom line is ask me. I mean, I'll ask. I mean, I kind of got them. Ashley and Susanna were both then saying, okay, it's unclear how to start projects. I got them both into project support. We created some documentation and so on and so forth. I guess I haven't really been involved in the project. Kind of, it's all sort of got off the ground with, I guess, Susanna, Ashley, yourself, and so on. I guess there's sort of interesting things like now. So Susanna's just posted in SHF.
Like she's asking us to vote on things.
Yeah, she's just posted and she's tagged Michael, myself, and Amber Wilkie and said, please vote on this particular story.
I think because we're signed in to that Slack right now.
You think that's because of the people that are in the Slack? We're the ones that are signed in. Maybe that's so. Yeah, that would certainly look. Yeah, it's just there's a kind of. And I guess I was just reaching out to Susanna because she's sort of with some frequency saying, please, can you review on this? And then I go to get to the pull request within the kind of 48 hours, and then I find that actually Ashley's already reviewed it, or maybe even you've already reviewed it, and I'm kind of unclear about whether she's asking for additional reviews on top of reviews that have already gone in. There was one where I kind of gave her a review, and then Ashley came in with like a big long thing and another big long post. As I think you yourself have commented, Thomas, there seems to be quite a lot of verbosity going on in this project. And then I noticed afterwards that it got merged in, and my suggestions hadn't been followed. I reached out to Susanna and I said, "Oh, that's a sad. Like I gave you these comments and you didn't do it." And she then very kindly, very positively responded and said, "Oh, sorry, I thought, from the discussion with you and Ashley, that was some sort of side issue. I'll kind of get on that." But I think, I don't know. I hope Susanna is happy, and I'll have to talk to her about that. I guess there's a question here about what's the MO of how this works when someone sort of starts up the project, and who is playing the mentor role and who's providing the guarantees about when code gets reviewed and so on. And I'm not saying answers to those questions. I'm just sort of putting that all as a brain dump out there. Any thoughts on that, Thomas?
So I have a few thoughts on this. So I kind of excused myself from that project a few days ago because so she's one of my ex-students, and I when she was on the camp, we were using a certain workflow and certain methods, like that kind of follow the agile approach, or my understanding of the best practices, basically. And when we started out this project, I assumed that this is the way we would work on in this project. That's true, and I think that is what works. And also I'm kind of rigorous about certain things when they are juniors, because I think that they need that guidance. So all the best practices that we are using, they're not there just to be followed because they're there. They don't exist in a for the sake of their own existence, but to actually provide some guidance and order into sometimes a chaotic environment. So what happened is that for various reasons, those best practices started to deteriorate. Things weren't really followed, and a feature is needs to be voted on and described. So let's create things as chores instead. So I kind of sensed that there was sometimes a little bit of over communication, which is really annoying for me because I don't have time to follow really long debates. We discussed that in the different other settings. That's one thing. The other thing is that a little bit of cut corner here and there starts. They didn't play they didn't follow the workflow that I was used to, that we kind of agreed upon. And the beauty of this of Agile Ventures is, of course, since it's being a volunteer organization, I can choose what I want to work on and not, of course, right? So I chose to excuse myself because the workflow that was being introduced were being too burdensome for me. I didn't see, so I also noticed that some of the comments that I made were just ignored or downplayed or something, and I was so I don't really have time to go into long debates and stuff like that, basically. So that's why I thought that it's better if I don't participate in that. But there's a problem here. So she is a premium member, right? So we need to give her some sort of support. So if she asks me for something, I will support her if there is a question, basically. So if you would ask me to do a code review, I will go ahead and do that, even though I don't longer participate in the channel discussions, etc. So there's a it's a balance there for me. I don't want to be involved in that project anymore. I scaffolded it for them, and I gave them a push in the right direction, what I thought was the right direction. But I will be there if needed, basically. And so my advice to you would be, if I may come with some advice, like if they ask for some specific input, well, she's paying for that service somehow, because as an ex-Craft Academy student, she has those 6 months. So we should give her that feedback. But do you have to take an active part in the project? I don't think so. I mean, we're not forced to do that by the setup of the premium membership that she's under, basically.
No, and it's great to have your thoughts on that there. I mean, I don't feel obliged to be an active member of the community. I guess what the bigger the concern I have is about doubling up of work. In that, I mean, also what I was saying in the AV Mentors channel is, at the moment with AV Premium, I feel that ultimately the buck stops with me. Like, you know, that's sort of my commitment, and I've made this, you know, commitment about 48 hours. And so to the extent that other mentors will occasionally do reviews and so on, that's very gratefully received. But I don't see an obligation on part of the mentors. Go on, Michael.
I know that Susanna, like a day or two ago, just messaged me randomly at night, and I responded to her.
Yeah. She's also. I mean, she's kind of. Through talking to some other.
I didn't really have a problem with it, but
no. I think she's been.
I'm not sure whether she messaged me because I'm a mentor or what the exact reason was.
I don't know. I mean, she's messaged the same individual question to myself and other mentors, and I've kind of having discussed that with some other mentors, pushed her and said, well, this is the kind of question that you should ask in the channel. I guess at the moment I'm kind of, I mean, I feel like I need to have a serious conversation with Susanna about the, you know, what the flow for the project is going to be. Like, Ashley is reviewing a lot of her stuff. I mean, Ashley has been doing lots of great work. I also, there are slight shades of Free Ranger there. And I think, I mean, Thomas, you and we're both susceptible to, you know, we can both end up being quite verbose when we, I mean, I think it's, I don't want to put the problem onto to say like it's Ashley or Free Ranger or whatever, but I think there's certain people, unlike our beautiful example of terseness and so on, which is Michael, who is with us, setting a shining light to all of us about how to just, you know, keep things short.
No, but to be honest, you know, to be frank, I will not allow myself to get pulled into certain situations, because I know that I have this problem that, you know, once there, you can't stop me, you know, and so it's I need to be so careful.
We both do.
I know myself, so I need to be careful. You know, Thomas, don't answer this. Don't get dragged in.
Right.
I will not allow that to happen, basically, because it's too costly, both emotionally and also time. You know, it's one thing that we don't have, Sam, is time. Right?
Well, indeed. I mean, on that note, the things that, and I guess I should wrap it up there. What I'm thinking about is basically having discussions both with Susanna about what her expectations are and the framework for how she should be, you know, asking for help and the kind of support that she can expect. Having another conversation with Ashley, and also whether Ashley, who seems to have the experience, could become the mentor, and then, you know, Ashley, who seems to be very committed to the project and she really like loves her dogs and she loves the whole dog thing. You know, if Ashley became the sort of focal point for Susanna, then maybe that would be I guess it's also Susanna feeling she wants to get multiple viewpoints. Anyway, it's good to have had the discussion. I think
but you know, there are other
Ashley. Go on.
In this project, you know, perhaps we can discuss at some other time, because, you know, mainly the work is done by these two girls at the moment. Yeah. We had, you know, so the flow itself that they have adopted or you know, start using is actually not very inclusive at the moment, because, you know, all the others interested developers, they weren't actually, I mean, nobody else is doing anything in the project, meaning that all this discussion and the workflow itself is not attracting new developers, you know, and that's a little bit of a problem.
Well, we'll maybe have another conversation about that another time. It's good to connect about it. Yes, interesting to work out the best models here going forward. All right, well, I'm going to go and pay my corporation tax like a good, dutiful corporate citizen, and I will see you both very soon. Bye for now.
Bye.